one, I kind of want to see if this hokey audio setup I'm trying actually works. I don't think it's going to sound very good, but you never know till you try it. So I just got like a stereo recorder mounted to the windshield. I think I probably need to use a lapel mic if I want to do stuff like this, but I already had the stuff with me for an exhaust video, so I figured I'd check it out. So if this doesn't sound good, you just won't see it, or I'll make an apology on the video. But today I wanted to talk about your favorite short driving road. By that I don't mean like your dream road. For me, Sharahala in the Smoky Mountains is probably my favorite driving road ever, the Sharahala Skyway. The day I spent driving Sharahala and Tail of the Dragon is one of my favorite days ever, and especially one of my favorite days of driving ever, probably my favorite day of driving ever. But I'm on right now what is my favorite, just close to my house-ish, fun driving road. It's a windy little road through the Blue Ridge Mountains in rural Virginia, and I like it because this section of road is maybe 5-6 miles long. It's not real long. It's close enough to me that I can go for a drive and get back in under about 45 minutes, which is a great little way to clear your head and get out and have a fun drive even when you don't have a lot of time. And then I also like it because it has a good mix of stuff. Now, the only thing bad about it is there are more houses around than I'd like, but as you guys know, if you've watched my videos before, I don't really speed on public roads anyway, but I prefer to drive on roads that aren't near houses just so I'm not causing a lot of noise pollution and stuff. But this road's fun because it has a lot of curves, it has a lot of elevation changes. It's got a lot of stuff that's really fun when you have a not very quick car that handles really well, which of course is what a Spyder is pretty much made for. And there's these fun sweeping corners. Yeah, I really like everything about this road. As far as the name or where it goes or anything, it's pretty nondescript. There's nothing special about it, other than the fact somebody decided to make a road through the mountain, and the best way they decided to make it happens to be really, really curvy, so no complaints from me. And the reason I think it's cool is you just can't always be going to your dream driving road. So I like Sharahala, I like Tail of the Dragon, of course, who doesn't? There are plenty of really nice roads in the Blue Ridge Mountains that are fun drives, but they're not necessarily that close to me. And what I like about this is I can very easily hop in the car, go for a drive, be back in 45 minutes. Listen to a podcast, listen to some music, just listen to the car. So it's a ton of fun, and I probably drive this road twice a month, not going somewhere, just for the purposes of having fun. So I'm curious to hear from you guys, what are your favorite short, nearby, non-famous roads for driving on, and why? And some of you with more powerful cars, it's probably because they got big straightaways that you can blow everybody away on. And for other people, it's probably roads like this where it's really, really curvy and it's pretty. The Blue Ridge Mountains is absolutely beautiful. So why wouldn't you want to go for a ride in it? Especially around fall time. Now it's pretty good looking in the summer too, but in the fall this is really a gorgeous drive, especially when the sun's going down, and there's stuff to see and do along the way, and there's a town on either end of it that's pretty cool, so it's definitely my favorite. I also wanted to give you guys an update on these wheels and tires on the 6ULs with the RE71Rs. I absolutely love them. Now, since they stick out a little bit from the sides of the vehicle, they've got a little bit of aggressive wheel size there, especially up front. I do hear more road noise, especially when I'm going over uneven surfaces. I can hear a lot of whistling from the tires up front, but the grip is just unreal. You guys saw my last autocross video. Like, I'm not driving anywhere close to the limits of these tires. I don't even feel like I'm getting them warmed up properly. So I'm really excited for this autocross season to see how much mileage I get out of them. But they don't make the ride really any worse, and they offer monster levels of grip, which is awesome. And the wheels look really, really good. Like, I have not gotten tired of how good these wheels look. They're a little bit flashy, I guess, but that's not really a bad thing, especially on a tiny convertible. Anything that makes you stand out a little bit more so people don't want to run you over. But I absolutely love them. I've been super happy with them. It's not an affiliate link, but I'll happily leave a link in the description just to the company that sells them, or with the place I got them from as a package, because I think they did a really awesome job. For the money, I'm really happy. I'm really happy with the performance. If you have a Spyder or a Miata, you should consider 6ULs and RE71Rs. Not that everybody doesn't know that already. They're like, the tires are really, really famous, but I hadn't actually read that many write-ups on these wheels specifically for Spyders. So if you got a Spyder and you're looking for some lightweight racing wheels, you don't want to buy Enki RPF ones because they're so expensive. These are a bit cheaper. They're like 40, 50% cheaper. Well, they're like 35% cheaper. And I've been really happy with them, so check them out. Last thing I wanted to do in today's video is just give you guys an update on the Spyder. She's running fine. Nothing to report, which is really good news for me. Like, that's all I wanted out of the car this year, was to not break and run well. Now that I've gotten pretty much everything sorted out from the engine swap and all the other mods I did, I'm looking forward just to having it as a fun cruising car. So I still need to wash all the pollen off and do a pretty good cleaning of the engine bay and the frunk area. But the car itself's running really well. I've taken on a couple small trips, some mostly day trips, because it's not a really practical weekend car, and then a lot of just short 1 or 2 hour drives around, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. Handles amazingly well. Upgrading to these Celica seats was really the right move. It's made it very tolerable on long trips. I don't know if I'm taking it anywhere really far away this year, like Tail of the Dragon or Chirahala again, or somewhere like in West Virginia or Tennessee maybe, but I'd like to. If I can make the schedule work, I'd very much like to meet up with some friends and do some driving. So I figured some of you guys might be interested. We're now coming up on about 4,000 miles since the swap, and all's good. The engine's a little bit noisier than I prefer. Like, the accessories on the outside of the engine do sound like they've got a little more wear on them than I'd like. Part of that might just be it's an older engine, and you know, all the accessories on it are a little bit older. But there's no real weird noises. There's no excessive ticking or anything. I have a couple small rattles where things are bumping up against each other. There's a tab that's a little bit too close to the cold air intake, and the intake rattles against it sometimes. And then the exhaust pipe, the top speed resonator exhaust, it's got a loop in it, and that actually can rub against itself. So I used a clamp and clamped it together, but the clamp couldn't go quite tight enough, and it still lets it rattle a little bit. So I need to tighten that up and figure out something I can like stick in there to shim it to make it really tight. But other than that, it's pretty minor stuff. Everything else is going well. I'm probably not going to do any more performance mods this year. I got a yearly inspection for autocross, so I can't do anything that would change the car's performance, like even changing to a different type of brake pad. I can't do it unless I want to get it re-inspected. Getting it re-inspected is not a problem, but I think I'm going to leave it alone this whole year. At the end of autocross, I'll have gotten, 10 events under my belt total, and I'll decide if I need to actually change anything, and I'll decide what I want to do with the car long term. I would like to upgrade the sound system this year. I've got speakers that have been sitting for, like, I don't know. I got speakers that have been sitting for about 1.5 years. I just haven't gotten around to putting them in because I would also want to do a head unit at the same time, and I believe these speakers use rivets to be mounted, and I've never done much with rivets, so it's just been low on my list of priorities. I don't use the sound system most of the time when I drive the car, but I do want to go ahead and get it set up so I can take advantage of it and enjoy it. And then I am considering possibly trying to repaint the car if I decide I want to keep it long term, or maybe doing like a satin black vinyl wrap. I don't know how expensive that would be, but it's something I'm considering. So that's as far along in that decision-making process as I've gotten. But if things work out, that's something I'd like to do.